Hey, my name is Leo. I'm 29. I live in a one-bedroom apartment on the north side of the city, the kind of place where the rent is reasonable and the heat works most of the time. It's nothing special, just a small kitchen, a couch that came with the lease, and a single window that looks out over a parking lot full of sedans and delivery vans. I drive a gray Honda Civic that's 12 years old and still runs like it knows better than to quit on me. Every morning I wake up at 6:45, make black coffee in a machine that's older than some of my coworkers, and leave for work by 7:20. The commute is 23 minutes if traffic behaves, 28 if it doesn't. I like the predictability of it all. I work as a network technician at a mid-sized logistics company just off the interstate. The building is one of those low, wide structures with beige siding and too many fluorescent lights. My desk is tucked in the far corner of the second floor next to a rack of servers that hums constantly, like a low, steady heartbeat. I don't mind the noise. It drowns out everything else. Most days I spend running cable through ceiling tiles, troubleshooting Wi-Fi drops for the accounting team, or explaining patiently why you can't plug a personal Keurig into the same circuit that's already powering 3 monitors and a laser printer. I get it done, I document it, I move on. No one really notices me, and I've spent years making sure of that. Being invisible has its advantages. People don't expect much from you. They don't ask you to join happy hours or weekend softball games. They don't lean on you when things go wrong. You just exist in the background, reliable and quiet, like the hum of the servers. I used to think that was a strength. Now I'm not so sure. It was a Tuesday in October when the first ripple appeared. I didn't see her arrive. I only heard about it. Max from logistics leaned against my server rack around 10:30, the way he always does when he has gossip he can't keep to himself. Max is one of those guys who knows everyone's business before they do. He crossed his arms, lowered his voice like he was sharing classified information. New girl in sales, Elena, started today, sharp as hell. Apparently she corrected Greg in the onboarding meeting, politely but still. Everyone's talking about it. I nodded once, eyes still on my screen. Good for her. Max waited for more. When I didn't give it, he shrugged and wandered off. I didn't think about it again that morning. New people come and go, they rarely change anything. 2 days later, Thursday, I was walking back from the supply closet with a spool of Cat 6 cable when I heard the coffee machine in the break area start beeping, like it was having a panic attack. I almost kept walking, but the sound was insistent, the kind that makes your shoulders tense even when you're not the one dealing with it. I stepped into the little alcove. She was standing there, arms crossed, staring at the machine like it had personally offended her. Dark hair cut short on the sides, longer on top with soft curls that caught the overhead light. She wore a charcoal blazer over a cream blouse, sleeves rolled to her elbows. No wedding ring. Glasses with thick frames that made her eyes look even more focused. She muttered something under her breath, half curse, half sigh, and jabbed at the touchscreen again. The machine beeped louder. Without thinking, I walked over, reached past her, and pushed the water reservoir back into place until it clicked. The beeping stopped. The machine gurgled and started brewing. She turned, not startled, just curious. Like she'd been waiting for someone to solve the puzzle, and I happened to be the first one who showed up. Thanks, she said. Her voice was low, calm, the kind that doesn't rush. I nodded. It sticks sometimes. You have to shove it in harder than you'd think. She studied me for a second. Really studied me, not the polite glance most people give. You work on this floor? End of the hall, network side. She tilted her head slightly. Elena, sales, just started. Leo. She gave a small smile, the kind that reaches the eyes but doesn't overstay its welcome. Nice to meet you, Leo. She poured her coffee, black, no sugar, and walked away. The whole exchange lasted maybe 40 seconds. I stood there another 10, staring at the machine like it owed me an explanation for why my pulse felt just a little faster than it should. The rest of the afternoon I kept replaying it. Not because anything dramatic happened, nothing did. But something about the way she looked at me, like I wasn't background noise, stuck. I told myself it was nothing, just a moment. I'd had moments before, they always passed, but over the next few weeks, the moments kept coming. We passed each other in the stairwell. She held the door for me even though I was still halfway down the hall. I said thanks. She said no problem, simple. I saw her at the printer when it jammed again. She stepped aside so I could fix it. While I pulled out the crumpled paper, she asked, "You ever get tired of being the one who knows how everything works?" I shrugged. Beats being the one who doesn't. She laughed. Quiet, dry, real. Fair. Another time, in the third-floor break room, she was eating lunch alone by the window. I walked in for water. She looked up, nodded like we'd already agreed to share the space. I sat at the table next to hers. We didn't talk much at first, just the sound of forks on plates and the low hum of the fridge. Then she asked, "You always sit in the back during meetings?" I paused. "Yeah, better view of the screen." She smiled. "Or less chance of being called on." I didn't deny it. Week by week, the conversation stretched a little longer. She had this way of asking questions that didn't feel like interrogations. She listened, really listened, without filling the silence with her own stories. I found myself answering more than I usually did. Not because I wanted to impress her, just because it felt safe. I noticed small things, the way she tapped her pen against her notebook when she was thinking, the way she always held the elevator door even if the person was still 20 feet away, the way her eyes stayed on yours when you spoke, like nothing else in the room mattered. I told myself it was just coworker politeness, nothing more. But deep down, I knew something had shifted. The office didn't feel quite so quiet anymore. And for the first time in years, I wasn't sure I wanted it to. Then came Thursday night. That Thursday night felt heavier than the others. The week had dragged on like wet concrete. 3 straight days of wrestling with 2 servers on the 4th floor. Random packet loss, intermittent crashes, logs that made no sense until they suddenly did at 3 a.m. My eyes burned from staring at screens, my shoulders ached from crawling under desks to trace cables. By the time I finally closed the last ticket at 8:47 p.m., the office was a ghost town. The overhead